Carried 5-0. Hey, Don.
I'd like to call this meeting of the Princeton City Council to order. Clerk, call the roll.
Mayor Mabry.
Here.
Councilor Newman.
Here.
Gomez.
Here.
McCall.
Here.
And Selesky.
Here. Would you please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We're going to go ahead and start with public comment. I just want to give a few points on that. Public comment is available at the beginning of the meeting as well as at the end. We'd like to have the individuals limit their time to 3 minutes if possible. It isn't necessarily a time for us to answer their questions. We always say if they want to stick around after the council meeting and talk to the council individually, we'd like to have them do that. That'd be great. At this point, is there anyone who'd like to speak to the council under public comment? All you have to do is go up to the microphone and state your name. Okay, Kent?
Yep. Thank you.
Kent Parrish. I'd like to read a paragraph of an email that I sent to several of you, and the principal person was Mayor Mabry. Thank you again, Mr. Mabry, for all the hard work by you and also Caleb, whom you hired, in cleaning up very much of the overgrowth and refuse at 512 South Church. It is a tremendous improvement and gives me much relief. Thus far, after more than 2 very long and grueling years, a result, for now, appears to be a reduction, if not, for now, elimination of bats on and inside my home, as well as birds on the roof. I know you worked hard for 3 full days, and my appreciation is genuine. Thank you.
Thank you.
I want to thank both Teresa and Janet, and maybe Elizabeth, who's not here, for copying the minutes of the last meeting that probably will be approved. I think it's important to put copies for the public to see. Even though they're on the website, people don't know that, and a lot of people don't have the internet at home. It's expensive. And there's, for example, older people that don't know how to even run a computer. And when I went to look for the minutes after the last meeting, I had a hard time finding them. There's about 5 or 6 clicks. They're kind of hidden away. You finally do find them. And I think that this is a good practice that should be done every meeting. So that the public that's here, whether there be 2 people like I think last week, 2 weeks ago, or 10 or 15 or 20 people, that there be enough copies. My suggestion is 15 copies that would be put out. Last week, or I'm sorry, 2 weeks ago, I would have requested that it not be approved, but I didn't see them in advance. I didn't know where to find them. The reason is, number 1, my name was misspelled, but number 2, there was false information. It said that I had reported old cars on 512 South Church, and I never did that. There were never old cars on 512 South Church, so that was just a mistake. But these are important. I don't want to disparage someone falsely, and I don't want to be recorded as if I was disparaging them. And so that was just probably carelessly done. Also, there were several things that were missing by omission, mistakes.
Kent, we're at 3 minutes. Why don't you take 1 more minute and we'll wrap you up on this, and then you come back then at the end of the meeting.
Okay.
And give your comments. 1 minute.
One main thing was that there was no mention at the May 18th meeting, reflected in the June 1st minutes, that the mayor did state that the city wants to retain for future property taxes rather than the North Chestnut Street property, rather than demolish the property. And I think that that's really an important item, and I think that could have been mentioned. There was no mention that I said that the owner of the South Church property was in 297 days past the cleanup deadline that was established by Michael Ziering's demand letter. And there was no mention that I stated that each day is a separate violation and that each day is a $100 fee, a $100 fine. That is critically important, and there was no mention that the fine was now totaling $29,700. And this is according to your ordinances, and that should have been mentioned.
Kent, we're at 4 minutes. Why don't we go ahead and have you come back up then at the end of the meeting?
Okay.
We continue on. Thank you. Is there anyone else for public comment at the beginning of the meeting?
And I forgot to say that I would like to not have I request that the minutes for today's meeting, for last June 1st meeting, not be approved.
Thank you, Kent. Anyone else for public comment at the beginning of this section? Seeing none, we'll go ahead now and we'll go to the approval of the minutes, please.
I move that we approve the minutes from our regular council meeting on June 1st, 2026.
Second.
We have a motion and a second concerning those minutes. Is there any questions or comments from council concerning those? Seeing none, clerk call the roll.
Councilmember Newman.
Aye.
Gomez.
Aye.
McCall.
Aye.
Seletsky.
Aye.
And Mayor Mabry.
Aye. Now on to our invoices with City Clerk Janet Henning.
In the Department of Accounts and Finances, we have $397,457.13. Department of Streets and Public Improvements, $122,332.69. Department of Public Safety, $418,273.27. And the Department of Public Property and Utilities, $850,072.36. With a grand total of $1,788,135.45. Mayor, all council members present have confirmed the review of all the invoices, and they're now submitted for disposition.
I move that we approve the invoices as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any questions or concerns concerning those invoices from the council? Seeing none, clerk call the roll.
Councilmember Newman.
Aye.
Gomez.
Aye.
McCall.
Aye.
Seletsky.
Aye.
And Mayor Mabry.
Aye. And now on to our ordinances, please.
Next on the agenda is ordinance O-26-014, amending Chapter 4, Section 7-4-8 of the City Code regarding burial charges. This is the second and final reading.
I move that we approve ordinance O-26-014.
Second.
We have a motion and a second, and as it says, it is the second and final reading. I think we understand what was being done there. We're trying to adjust our fees on certain things in the cemetery department to reflect the increase in cost of doing business. With that said, unless there's any questions or comments from the council, clerk call the roll.
Councilmember Newman.
Aye.
Gomez.
Aye.
McCall.
Aye.
Seletsky.
Aye.
And Mayor Mabry.
Aye. Now our next ordinance, please.
Next on the agenda is ordinance O-26-015, amending the Bureau Putnam Area 2017 Enterprise Zone for the Marquardt expansion in Hennepin. This is the first reading.
I move that we advance ordinance O-26-015 to the second reading.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Before we vote on that, Mr. James Durden is here with the North Central Illinois Council of Governments. And James, if you would just go up to the podium and just give us an overview of what we're doing tonight, please.
Okay.
And take your time so we can understand this, please.
Okay, understood. I know there's a lot of moving parts. Well, it all started with Marquardt Landholdings LLC approached NCICG to present in front of the Bureau of Putnam Enterprise Zone Board to expand the Enterprise Zone, which is in Hennepin, shows on your maps in blue. And the total additions would be about 764.30 acres, so it's on the west, the east, and the southern part of the current Enterprise Zone. And this zone can reach up to 20 square miles in size, and if these additions were added, it would make the Enterprise Zone approximately 15.6 square miles out of 20 square miles total. And the board, the Bureau of Putnam Enterprise Zone Board, passed it 5-0 to move forward with NCICG, who are the administrators of the zone, to prepare an application. So we had a public hearing. We got to hear public comment, and the next step is now to pass an amending ordinance. All 8 units of government must pass it, and those communities are Princeton, Ladd, Spring Valley, Bureau County Board, Putnam County Board, Granville, Mark, and Hennepin. And after that, we have to sign, if the amending ordinances are approved, that gives the chief elected official of each unit of government the authorization to sign an intergovernmental agreement. And this, let's see, for the region to remain competitive and attract and retain businesses, the Bureau Putnam Area 2017 Enterprise Zone Board proposes these changes to the zone. And I know there's a lot of information that have been circulating. What questions can I answer?
I just have a quick one. How
Yes.
much space does that leave left to expand the enterprise zone?
After it's added, if it were to be added,
How
it
many
would
more acres?
leave acres. It would leave over 4 square miles, which is about 2,800 acres.
Okay.
And normally, when there are additions, they're quite small. 100 acres here, 200 acres there. Usually, they're not big chunks.
Right.
So this does
Okay.
leave a substantial amount of room for further development.
Is this all for commercial use? Is there any residential property set aside, or that wouldn't be appropriate for the enterprise?
Yeah, under every enterprise zone is different, but under our current enterprise zone, we tend to only provide benefits for commercial, manufacturing, and industrial. But there is a line in the bylaws where the board can dictate what commercial and industrial is. So in the past, we have done rentals, but normally it is residential. It's not in our zone benefits criteria.
And how many potential businesses are looking at this being approved and then for them to proceed with an endeavor to build on some of this property?
Well, this property is all currently owned by Marquis.
Okay. And they intend to retain ownership?
That is our intention.
Right?
That is our intention today, yes.
Okay. How many communities have approved this so far?
Currently, we've had 3. The first one was Putnam County Board. They tabled it. Then it was Bureau County Board. They tabled it. And LAD tabled it. So as of right now, 3 have tabled, and we have a meeting with you today. Then right after this is Spring Valley. Then tomorrow is Mark, Granville. Wednesday is Hennepin.
Council members, if you have questions, I would just make a comment. We're all done.
I just wanted to see, what was the reason why they tabled it? So now we give very specific, like.
There was a number of questions. These were some of the public hearing. This is all stems from the public hearing. Concerns. Spoke of recently increased taxes for public. Expansion would provide tax breaks for Marquis. And one thing, I think they tabled it where one person said, I'm under strong authority there'd be a data center, which all these are rumors at this point because we are submitting an option 2 application, and that means there is no current project in mind. So I think it was due to public comment. And they also wanted more information concerning the enterprise zone because the Putnam County Board didn't feel that they were fully educated in what our enterprise zone does. And then Bureau County was kind of like, since they tabled it, Bureau Putnam didn't feel comfortable moving forward.
Don, did you have any thoughts? I know we talked a little bit earlier this morning.
One parcel that you have is currently zoned residential, correct?
That is, yes. You have if you look at your map on the southwest, it's like almost like a caret. That is residential. And then east is rural residential. Correct.
That will be pulled to get that to business out of residential, correct? Or will it remain residential?
No, we intend to keep it residential. We're not asking for any zoning changes.
You won't be zoned?
No. We've had many conversations with the Village of Hennepin, Mayor Buffington, about trying to work with the NCICG to maybe offer an opportunity for a building developer or something like that to offer benefit to home builders to grow Hennepin. Yes. Thank you.
I would just ask this, James, and I should remember this. So about a year and a half ago, the enterprise zone, we met to expand the enterprise zone for the new grain facility out on Route 40. So if anybody's driven by that, they've been working on that for over a year now. They poured those concrete silos in the middle of the coldest weather we could have had last winter. It was continuous pour for like 16 days, and they were successful. Pouring concrete in the middle of the winter out on the prairie at 140 feet in the air is like a challenge. That had to be approved. That 140 acres was not in the enterprise zone, so that had to be approved. and our good friends from Putnam County worked with us to make sure that was approved, because it's good for everybody. I mean, it's good for everybody in Bureau County, Putnam County, to have those jobs created from the construction, but also the 28 to 29 jobs are going to have full-time once that grain center is open. So that's a great thing. I think tonight, I'm certainly hoping the council will vote unanimously in favor of this. We've had a good working relationship with the Marcus family in general. There's some of the Marcuses live here in Princeton. I know that the history of the Marcus family is one of integrity, so I will be voting in favor of this and hopefully sending a signal to the other 7 communities to keep this thing moving on the right track. So with that said, is there any other questions or comments from the council? Seeing none, clerk, call the roll.
Councilmember Newman.
Aye.
Gomez.
Aye.
McCall.
Aye.
Seletsky.
Aye.
And Mayor Mabry.
Aye. Thank you, gentlemen, for coming, and you can sneak out of here, go for it if you want to. Or you can stick around and listen to me talk.
We're gonna go to Spring Valley.
Okay, very good.
Thank you very much for your support. Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, sir.
We'll be in touch to set up a time for the signing. Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor.
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay, what do we got left? Resolution, please.
Yeah, that's right.
Next on the agenda is Resolution R-26-015, requesting temporary closure of Route 34 from Putnam Street to Park Avenue on Saturday, July 4th, 2026 for a 250th celebration parade.
I move that we approve Resolution R-26-015.
Second.
Motion second, clerk call the roll.
Councilmember Newman.
Aye.
Gomez.
Aye.
McCall.
Aye.
Seletsky.
Aye.
And Mayor Mabry.
Aye. Great, now on to our city manager report, please. Teresa.
First of all, just a reminder with the upcoming Independence holiday coming, garbage and recycling routes will be as follows. Friday, July 3rd, garbage and recycling routes will be picked up on Monday, July 6th. And Monday, July 6th, garbage routes will be collected on Monday, July 6th as usual. On these days, as every other day, please have stuff out by 5 a.m. They sometimes do get started, especially if it's starting to get very warm out. They like to get started early. If you have any questions, give City Hall a call. And City Hall offices will be closed Friday, July 4th in observance of holidays. Actually, it was closed on July 3rd.
July 3rd.
For July 4th. And we'll resume normal hours on July 6th. So, rest of my agenda you have in your packet. The you'll have a pension report for the firefighters for April 30th. As well as, I'll call it our last financial report for last year for the last month of April. However, those numbers will be adjusted as, things from May that carry back to April. Some of those numbers will get adjusted, so I wouldn't say that's final. With that being said, we are, as I mentioned on Friday in my report, in the middle, I actually say towards the end of our audit already for last year, so we are, what I'd like to say, ahead of schedule on that, and things are going very well. We're getting the information to them as quick as we can. A couple other updates. I just remind everybody, this Friday is our first street concert of the season. It'll be Neon 90s, which is 90s country. Everybody likes 90s country. I do. And I will ask for everybody's patience because I will run this one. Tori is out on maternity leave, so we're trying to make sure everything's lined up and ready to go. Today, right before the meeting, we did swear in 3 firefighter. Some were paramedics, some were EMTs, so let me make sure I get this right. Allison Jacobson, she's a firefighter paramedic. Brett Kleinfelter, firefighter EMT, and Clayton Wellenreiter, a firefighter paramedic as well, sworn in from they're currently part-time, going to full-time as part of their plan to get for better coverage here. So it's a great turnout, very appreciative of everything from the council, Julie McDellar too, so very good ceremony. And with that being said, I am excited to say that we're fully staffed for the time being. John Isaacson did retire, not you,
Yeah.
The other one.
I get his
so now I'll
emails.
I'll get some emails to the right John Isaacson now. After 37 years with the city, so I was blessed to get to visit with John for quite a while on Friday, and I think it was bittersweet for him. And then we welcome Mason Guzin to the wastewater department from Maywood, actually. So they are fully staffed down there now, and we're getting there. So it's been a long haul. And actually, I'll say when they did the swearing in ceremony downstairs, it was the first time I've ever participated in one of those, and we did not have a call. That's amazing. So.
Great. Anything else, Teresa?
No, unless everybody's got any questions.
Okay, thank you, Teresa. On the mayor's report, it's hard to believe that I brought my calendar along, and here it is. This is the final meeting, so to speak, scheduled meeting for June. We don't come back now until July 6th. Teresa's going to be working with some contracts with the city employees through the union, so we may have to have a quick special meeting to discuss things on that regard. But otherwise, we're not scheduled.
I think I mentioned this Friday to you guys. On July 23rd, there'll be 3 of the unions that day, and then FOP will be July 7th, I believe it is now, at 10 a.m. So
Got it.
we're getting there.
Yes, got it. Okay, very good. And we have, as we say, a lot of activities. Teresa's going to be working, and all of us, we're available to help Teresa if you need anything at all for Friday night. I'm good up till about 8 o'clock at night, and I'm pretty well gone. But at 4 in the morning, I'm ready to go to work too, so we're good to go. And then on Friday the 3rd, we've done this a few times now, where lunch in the park is, we call it the mayor's luncheon, but it's a free opportunity or a complimentary meal, and we have a lot of fun with that. And I have a granddaughter that she'll be back this year singing, so it's just a nice event. Again, it's all complimentary. And then that parade is exciting. I know that Stutzky's have got some neat plans for that parade, so very good. A lot of good things going on, but it's hard to believe we don't come back till July 6th. The year's halfway over. With that all said, I think we're good there. On old business, I know you gave us a handout here, the latest from the state legislator, right, on scooters?
Tom, do you want to say anything about it? Just that it just got here, so.
Yeah, I think it's along the lines of what we discussed as an ordinance before, and now the state's finally codified all of that.
So you can take that home and read.
Is someone going to do a summary of all this? Or
I emailed it a pretty good.
Yeah, there's a summary online of that one and of the THC infused beverage law. That was very lengthy.
The main components.
The goal is to borrow another community that's done it. It simplifies it, and if it looks good for them, it looks good for us, right?
Well, since the state has done it, that I think makes it easier for everybody.
Got it. And then one more time on enforcing this. So let's say that as Jerry was talking about, or that 12-year-old that's on that little scooter going down the sidewalk, that's a no-go, right?
That's what the state law says. They have to be 16 years old.
so, but potentially an officer who sees it or it's reported would stop this young man and call mom and dad.
Young lady.
Yeah.
Okay. And then there's like a warning for the first time, and
Well, they don't really spell that out very well in the law, because you can't cite, certain ages.
Sure.
But under ordinance, we could probably do, some sort of, we used to call them station adjustments, but a conference with the parent and the child, and,
sure.
More of a restorative thing as opposed to a punishment.
Because chances are a 12-year-old would never be allowed to use one of these on the streets, I'm assuming.
The law says you have to be 16, but we definitely see
All right,
kids younger than that.
That's the benchmark.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's going to be an education process. To make sure.
We'll definitely be doing public education.
This could be a challenge on that one.
Well, it will be. I expect a lot of angry parents too.
That's it.
Coming to visit us.
They're relying on that for transportation instead of them running their kid to.
Just don't come around a scooter, please. That would make it worse.
Yeah, not so much for transportation. I know some of them just kind of go around and whisk through everything and go right across the street and.
Oh yeah. With their headphones.
And even the sidewalks. And they go through the sidewalks pretty fast.
It's a mess. Okay, well, we're not going to solve that tonight. We're getting closer. Okay, I think that covers the old business. Let's go on to new business. Is there any new business for the council this evening? Okay, now we're going to go back to public comment. Kent, would you like to speak again, please? We'll let you know when we get to 3 minutes.
It's hard to cover all these topics in 4 minutes. And I would like to remind you that I spent years going through this, and to cover it in 3 minutes, not really very fair. I'm going to read this as fast as I can. There was also omitted was Mayor Mabry's comment that each nuisance property situation is different, and my response with the ordinances, however, don't change. That wasn't included. Also omitted is my comment that Teresa didn't respond to my email twice until 16 days transpired, telling me to ask myself if anything had happened. Also omitted was my comment that I believe it affects my property value. There's many things from the June 1st meeting that are omitted. But I'm asking that these comments that I'm making tonight, that they be included in the next minutes, so that there is a record of these things. This is a public record. Once you approve it like you did, then it's a public record. Last meeting, no mention that I was, there was no mention that I informed the public that the city waived the $973 water and sewer bill for the 512 South Church property owner, and that the problem was not an act of God, but was caused by the property owner, and that was too generous. This is not a church, and this is not a charity. This is a government that we pay taxes to. There was no mention that I said a total of approximately 145,600 gallons of water spilled over on that property from the first to the second floor, and I believe the house is lost, and that the owner, after getting the waiver and after no enforcement of Michael Ziering's deadline demand letter, probably believed that they could get away with not cleaning up the property. The city wasn't going to probably hold them accountable. Makes sense to me. There's no mention that the property owner near 526 North Chestnut had been dealing with the issues for 13 years. I mentioned that. There's no mention in the minutes about that. I'd like to ask Mayor Mabry something, and also Police Chief Kemmerer. Is the city going to, and I'm just going to ask them both back to back, is the city going to bill the 512 South Church owner as is written in the ordinance and the demand letter, or is the city going to cave and give her another wave? You're the top official of this city, so you represented the city. And the demand letter and the ordinance says that you will charge that owner. When you don't do what your ordinances say, then the people don't believe you. And I'd like to ask Police Chief Kemmerer, and there was no mention of this in the minutes, that I didn't know if there had been any violations issued to the South Church property owner. So at the end of the meeting, he will remember that I asked him informally if there had been any. And he said he didn't know and that he would have to check on it.
If that's your 3 minutes, let's do this. Let's give you 30 more seconds and we're going to wrap this up. Please wrap up your comments.
So I then FOIA the very same question through FOIA. Today was the deadline for it. I didn't receive a response from the Princeton police. Today was the 5-day deadline. I didn't get anything. Police Chief Kemmerer never contacted me. After all the work that I did defining the ordinances and how they were violated, which took me days, which he requested that I do, that still didn't even give me the courtesy of telling me if there were any violations, which says to me probably there weren't. Probably it was treated totally unequally, double standard with the 512 South or the 526 North Chestnut Street property. So I'd like to have those questions answered.
Thank you, Ken. Is there anyone else like to have public comment for the council? And again, if you don't want to make comment to the council, you can stay after and visit with the council members. Anybody in the back row there? No?
Well, all right.
And again, all you have to do is just state your name. That's all we need, please.
My name is Karen Robinson, and I've lived here in Princeton for 35 years. Some of you I know personally. I was not
prepared to speak tonight. My husband and I are just coming to these meetings to kind of learn what the process is. And I guess we would just have a question about the communication about the zoning, the enterprise zoning, I guess. I hope I'm saying that correctly. And my notes aren't even very good about it, but let me just talk from my memory. We went to the county board meeting last week, and we heard Mr. Marquis speaking to the board, and we're very much given the impression that they wanted much more information than they'd been given, and that was why they had tabled it. And it wasn't just one person's public comment on it. So I just want to make sure that that was shared, I guess.
And I guess one of the other things, Ed Robinson, one of the other things that comes to my mind is whether you as a city council, if you were approached and said, we want to build an AI data center in Princeton or around within the city limits or just outside, say the industrial park. Are you for it or against it? What would happen if you guys were asked that? My personal feelings, to be told, are that the land is more valuable as farmland or something else. Our water supply, our electric supply, all the other involved in that would be more valuable to me and the other citizens of Princeton than the AI center. So I guess I'm just spitballing what I'd ask if you guys would be for or against it.
Any other questions? I'll just make a quick comment on it.
The only other thing that I'd have to say is this gentleman was asking about cleanup for a certain lot in Princeton. We have an older gentleman that lives across the street from us. He'd be on the west corner of Franklin and First Street. His lot has never been cleaned up in probably 20 years. And it looks like something that came out of South Vietnam jungle. I'm not really kidding about that. It hasn't been taken care of for a very long time, and I just wondered if there was something the city could come by, look at it, and say, yeah, we've got to clean this up. Because if there's property on his north side, his west side, the west side, and then mine is on the south side of the street, across the street on Franklin. The property value can't be the same when it's that bad looking.
Ed, thank you. We're going to wrap you up on your time. I would just say I'll visit with you after the meeting for just a few minutes. Is that okay? You're going to stick around?
That's fine. Thank you.
And on the data centers, I know that Michael Ziering is working with the Planning and Zoning Commission. They meet once a month, and they've already discussed, some proactive approaches on what to do with that. So Michael's working on that. I was at that Planning and Zoning meeting last week, and they discussed that. So they are working on coming up with a proactive approach for that. Because I think tonight isn't the answer to say yes or no for a favor. I just think in general we're very, very reluctant to approve something like that in today's world without a lot of information. So we want to be proactive on that. So thank you for your questions. Again, we're going to stick around after the council. I can visit with you more.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Welcome. Okay, any additional public comment from anybody? Not. I believe I just want to say one last thing as I call these alibis. America in Bloom, that's a program we signed up for the city. They're going to be here Thursday and Friday. 2 advisors are coming. They're a volunteer organization, and they're going to come visit Princeton and give us some hints on what we can do to improve our community as far as beautification. And we're looking forward to them coming. The council is invited to a luncheon. It's Thursday. They're going to have a program and luncheon between 11 and 1. Did you council members each get an email? Great. And we'll give our folks here from the press each copy to visit about. With that all said, if you're going to go ahead and close off the meeting, would please, Jerry.
Sure. I move that we adjourn our regular council meeting this evening and reconvene for our regular council meeting on Monday, July 6th. 2026, 6 o'clock at City Hall.
Second.
Motion and second, clerk call the roll.
Councilmember Newman,
Aye.
Gomez,
Aye.
McCall,
Aye.
Gillespie,
Aye.
and Mayor Mabry.
Aye. Thank you, this meeting is adjourned.